You know that feeling, right? You decide to learn a language, like Hindi. You're super excited, you dive in, and then a few weeks later, all that motivation just kind of fizzles out. Well, you are not alone. It's such a common story. But here's the thing. The problem isn't your dedication. It's that you don't have a system. So today, we are going to build that system. Let's be real for a second. Does this timeline look painfully familiar? That huge burst of energy in week 1, and then, well, life happens. By month 2, that giant pile of flashcard reviews is just staring at you, making you feel guilty, not helping you progress. It's so easy to just throw your hands up and say Hindi is too hard. But what if I told you the tools, the apps, the books, they were never the problem? The real issue is trying to run on motivation alone instead of building a solid, sustainable workflow. So here's our blueprint for today. First, we're going to lay down the foundation of a good workflow. Then we'll get into the specifics, your daily 20-minute system and your weekly deep dive. We'll also cover some common traps to avoid, and we'll wrap it all up with a concrete action plan you can literally start tomorrow. Okay, first up, the absolute core concept of this whole thing. We're getting rid of the idea that you need these long, intense marathon study sessions to succeed. Instead, we're going to focus on the incredible power of small, consistent efforts. Just look at these two paths side by side. On one side, you've got the traditional advice, right? Study for hours, immerse yourself completely. For most of us, that just leads straight to burnout. But on the other side, you've got the workflow method. This is not about intensity. It's about a totally manageable 20 minutes a day. And that small, daily investment is what creates that compounding growth that actually gets you to fluency. So this whole strategy really boils down to this 3-tier system. Think of it like this. Tier 1, your daily 20 minutes. That's your non-negotiable. It's all about maintenance and building the habit. Tier 2 is your weekly deep dive. That's where you make those big leaps in progress and tackle new, tricky concepts. And finally, Tier 3 is the monthly review, which is your chance to step back, see what's working, and tweak your plan. Together, they create this really powerful cycle of consistent growth. All right, let's talk about the engine of this entire system, your daily 20-minute practice. This is where the real magic of habit building happens. So what do you actually do in those 20 minutes? It's really simple. We just break it down into 3 parts. 7 minutes for vocabulary review, another 7 for active practice like listening or speaking, and then 6 minutes for a targeted micro lesson with an AI. It's this perfectly balanced approach that hits all the key areas without ever feeling overwhelming. So how does this actually work in the real world? Okay, picture your daily commute. Instead of just mindlessly scrolling, you could do this. For 7 minutes, have an AI read yesterday's lesson out loud to you. For the next 7, use its voice feature to have a real back-and-forth conversation. And for the last 6 minutes, just pop on a Hindi song. And just like that, you've turned a boring commute into a super productive language lesson. And you can kick it off with a prompt as simple as this one, but notice how specific it is. You're setting the scene, you're defining the difficulty level, A2 is for advanced beginners, and you're asking for gentle corrections. This kind of super precise prompt takes all the guesswork out of it and gets you speaking like right away. Okay, so that daily habit maintains your progress. Now let's look at how we accelerate it. That's what the weekly deep dive is all about. Let's say you want to finally master a really tricky grammar point. So you set aside 90 minutes. You could spend the first 30 minutes getting a super detailed lesson from an AI. Then you spend a solid 40 minutes on active practice. Really getting your hands dirty, writing sentences, getting instant corrections. And to finish it off, you have a 20-minute conversation where you force yourself to use that new rule over and over. I guarantee by the end of that session, that grammar concept is truly locked in. Now, this is a crucial part of success, knowing what not to do. So let's look at some of the common mistakes that totally derail learners and see how this workflow helps you just sidestep them completely. This right here, this is the whole mindset shift. You see, the ineffective learner has these really vague goals, like, I'll practice Hindi today. That just leads to that same old cycle of binging and burning out. But the workflow learner, they're specific. They don't just practice. They do their 7-minute AI conversation. That tiny shift, that level of specificity is what makes the habit actually stick. Okay, we've covered the why and the how. Now it's time for the what. This is your concrete action plan to get this system up and running immediately. So here is my challenge to you, a 30-day commitment. It's so simple. Step 1, pick one daily workflow that actually fits your life. Step 2, go into your calendar right now and block out that 20 minutes. Make it a recurring event. Step 3, schedule your very first deep dive for this weekend. And finally, step 4, commit. Don't break the chain for 30 days. And why 30 days? Because by then, it's not a chore anymore. It's a locked-in habit. So let's end on this thought. Your journey to Hindi fluency doesn't start someday when you suddenly have more time or feel more motivated. It starts tomorrow. It starts with your very next 20-minute block. So the only question left is, what are you going to accomplish in yours?